Hi, this is High Templar with my Total War Warhammer Mechanics video, and today we'll be talking about chevrons. So there is some discussion about how powerful the chevrons are, how much they should cost and such. Here I have Chaos Warriors with 9 chevrons that costs 1490 gold, and this is Chaos Chosen. Both deal great weapons and they cost 1450. So this is a basic matchup, and single chevron on this guy costs 65 gold. If you add all of the price difference and divide it by 9, you get 65. Quite simple. And there will be charge between those guys. And as you can see here, it seems that it's going from one way to the other, from one way to the other. Now it's going strongly to... For a moment it went strongly into the Chaos Warriors, and it's gone. As you can see, 12 of them, 7. So, why that happens? I mean, you all obviously see that that match was very close, like very close. So the chevrons were almost worth it. And why? Because if you go to your customs, you would see that those chevrons, if you go to custom battles, those chevrons gives you 43 melee, 45 defense and 81 leadership, where the Chaos Chosen have, with great weapon, 46, 44 and less leadership, more armor, but this should be not taken in count, the weapon strength of 46, slightly greater charge bonus, but there is only 80 guys here and 100 guys here. So it would seem that it should go to Chaos Warriors' favor, because of the sheer difference in numbers and very similar stats, although the weapon strength was quite bigger on Chaos Chosen still. So Chaos Chosen health in particular was greater, and there is a snag here, because there is less of them and have more health, there is more health to single unit. So even if the chosen unit has less health than, say, Chaos Warriors, they still could have more men inside. Pretty similar way if you attack unit of 12, I don't know, Chaos Spawns, and you take half of the health from them, they could still have all 12 units. Whereas if you take half of the health from, say, Spearmen, there will be no... there will be like 75% of units there. And because of this weapon strength, and because of that particular health, the Chaos Chosen win that particular battle, and the chevrons was almost worth it. Almost. So let's see different example. So I have few tests here for 4 chevrons. So let's try Chaos Warriors versus Chaos Warriors. So those guys have slightly more price, slightly more, because there is 8 chevrons on them, making them cost slightly more than 3 Chaos Chosen. The difference is like 100, not really a big deal. So let's see how that works. My opponent is shy, so I need to coerce him to the battle. This will not be a perfect test. I would have to have a person who would meet me face in face. But they attack with single unit, so I have to charge it, and I charge the other unit. Next unit have started to... that was a very bad move on their side. They should be going all the way flank. So I scared their lord, so he wouldn't butt into our battle. As you can see, single unit of Chosen here already routed, and the second unit also routed. However, that was because low morale, the lord was running away. Not off the map yet, but still running away. And you can see, it would seem that my guys won like straight away, because those guys only in total had less than 100 kills, which is less than half of my guys, where my guys have much more than half of their health. Actually, two-thirds. They killed two-thirds. That wouldn't be so good if that was a even matchup. In even matchup, they would lose. They would lose because of the health of the unit. The Chaos Warriors would just have more health and more men, and that would be a problem. And that's not even taking into account flanking, which you should. So does it make sense to take chevrons? Not really. In most cases, not. If you have some spare gold, you can spend them, and you can spend them on some of the units for better extent, and for some units to lesser extent. If you have a unit that have a very large difference between defense and attack, that chevrons could bring one of their stats significantly higher and make a difference, but that only and only if you are fighting an opponent that it's not already below the red line. Below the red line is basically 30 more of attack or 30 more of defense, which makes this is kind of difficult calculation. You just have to trust me on that. The average hit for a unit is 40% in most cases. So that is why if your defense is more than 30 than your opponent, you will have only 10%. But if your defense is 100 more than your opponent, you will still have only that 10% to keep that unit. So you need to carefully consider what you would do with those chevrons. And now there is a different scenario. The scenario when the chevrons will give you melee attack, melee damage, and some of speed when it comes to throwing, missile attacks basically. But because of those units, you can see increased missile damage. This missile damage is increased due to the speed, so they are losing ammo quicker than the rest. But you might notice that because of the amount of ammunition that my enemy has, because of the amount of health that my enemy has, these chevrons were totally lost on my Marauder Horseman. When it's bonus for attack and defense, it's very useful to have those chevrons. But if you have units that you would use, if you want to use chevrons for range unit, don't. It just doesn't make sense. You really are better off just taking another unit. Even if I try to concentrate fire, which is obvious tactics when you have range units, just to take out some of their, and I took out 3 of their units, but as you can see, it didn't really make that much of a difference, and they still have 3 units on the field with lots of ammo. So that is a problem in here. Even with focus fire, they still lost. Those chevrons were totally lost on them. So this is about chevrons. You might want to. So chevrons will cost more if you want to buy them for more effective unit, and that's not always a good thing. As you can see, as you've seen before. So if I want to say chevron up this guy, it cost only 30 gold, and it gave him 1 melee attack, 1 melee defense, and 1 leadership. But when I want to level up this guy, it costs 55, giving pretty much the same stats, right? So you must be watchful. Watchful basically, what are you spending those chevrons on? If this will be a good spend for that unit, if you do have what you will be facing, there is very little sense in increasing your melee attack for 2-handler if you will be facing a unit that has, say, lots of defense, and you won't be getting over 30% difference. It is rarely the case, but you need to consider those things. Also, we need to remember that if you can get, if you say have a 10% hit chance, and you can increase that hit chance to 15%, your armies will deal 50% more damage. So in that case, chevrons will be extremely effective. But, as before, you would have to spend 5 chevrons, and you would have to know exactly who you will be fighting, and then it will be money well spent. Also remember that each next chevron costs more, so you might want to consider that. And if, for example, you have 10% difference in your melee and attack, you have 10% attack chance, and you want to increase it by, you will increase your melee attack by 1. You will increase that for 10%, and then next 10%, and then next percent. Not only it will be more and more effective, but also it will be in numbers on the battlefield less and less effective, because first one will give you additional, let's say first 5 chevrons will give you additional 50%, but once you have those 5 chevrons, another 4 chevrons going up to 90 will only give you from 100 to 190, say it's about 30% more, I believe, or less than 30%. You need to calculate that. So in fact, if you it is more effective to just use a single chevron on your units, and this will be more effective in cost and in battle than giving a single unit a lots of chevrons. So that's it. I hope you like it. If you did, press like. If you could comment, please leave a comment, and also watch my other mechanics video and my let's plays. Thank you for watching. Bye!